In 2019, I hit 10K months in my coaching business pretty quickly. I had a simple system. I'd create content, get clients, deliver results. Everything was working, the money was coming in. But then something strange happened. I started sabotaging my own success as a coach. I started jumping from mentor to mentor, strategy to strategy, always looking for a better way. When the real problem wasn't my business model, it was instead what's between my ears. So today I'm going to share with you the exact subconscious pattern that kept me stuck, that keeps so many others, coaches, consultants, agency owners stuck and oscillating between 10 to 30K months without ever being able to scale beyond that. And once I identified and reprogrammed this pattern, I made $474.3 thousand without working more hours, without sacrificing client retention, and without any new fancy strategy or tactic. And over the past 4 years, I've worked with dozens of coaches, consultants, and course creators in helping them identify the exact same pattern so that they can break through their revenue ceilings. One client went from 15K a month to 90K a month in just under a year, without working more, without deploying any fancy new tactic or technique. Another client made $52,500 in only 6 weeks, only by using this mindset shift. So now let me take you back to 2019. I just hit my 10K months working with an attraction marketing mentor in my coaching business. I had a pretty simple process, but instead of doubling down on what was working, I started looking for something that would speed things up. I started looking for a faster way, a better way that would help me streamline my business and let me scale more effectively and efficiently. So I left my coach and signed on with another coach who specialized in DM sales, outreach, running challenges and masterclasses. Then, a year and a half later, I jumped to another coach, a mastermind in fact, which was more about YouTube and content creation and just general marketing. Then I jumped to a sales coach who emphasized tonality. His whole thing was, if you hit the right tone, people will buy from you magically. And after going through a couple more coaches, I finally found a coach who's basically a reflection of me and sees the whole world the way I do, and is also an attraction marketing guy that made me come full circle right back to where I started. And so today, the most painful truth for me to realize is that I could have still been the same person I was in 2021, continued to grow my business and learned everything I had to learn along the way, and skipped this whole journey of trying out new things and failing and not working. I could have skipped all of that. Part of it is my human design. I have a truth seeker predisposition, which makes me always want to go deep into things, find new things, optimize things, search for the best, highest ROI, highest leverage activity. And I don't want to make human design seem like an excuse. I'm just sharing this with you. By no means am I implying that you should, or I did, use human design as a crutch. Because things like human design, gene keys, Enneagram, they're just indicators of what potentials we have. They're not tombstones of what we're meant to be for the rest of our life. But the real reason, the deeper reason, the reason that I've had to work on significantly to be who I am today was that I simply could not believe that I could make money doing what I was doing back then. Like my mind couldn't fathom it. I could not come to terms with the fact that business didn't need to be overcomplicated, that it could be simple. It could be as simple as showing up every day, putting out content, nurturing conversations and conversions with clients, delivering results to clients, and rinse and repeat. I was convinced that there had to be a sharper, a smarter, a big picture, secret weapon way for me to scale my business and maintain relationships with high-ticket clients. And this created a very destructive pattern in my coaching business. I would have incredible highs, creating amazing content, signing on great clients, and then I'd burn out, watch my pipeline dry up, my content become lackluster, conversions become scarce overnight. And then I tell myself I don't need to work so hard, fall back down to 10K months, and rinse and repeat, and the whole cycle goes on and on and on. But what I didn't understand at that time, and has dawned on me since then, is that it wasn't my business model that was problematic for me. It was my view of my business model that was making me go through all of this tumultuous roller coaster ride. It was linked directly to how I viewed my business and was looking at my time and energy that I was spending in my business. And then the breakthrough came to me when my YouTube coach said something to me that hit me like a ton of bricks. And he said, Yaya, if you know how to turn $1 into $2, why would you stop doing that in search of something that would help you turn $1 into $3? Stop looking for ways to turn $1 into $3 because you're not happy with the way you're turning $1 into $2. And this blew my mind. It landed so hard. I'd been looking at my business wrong all along. And when I looked deeper, it wasn't the work that I disliked. It was the drama around the work that I was creating in my search for the optimal, better, sharpest, smartest way. that was holding me back. I was being highly emotionally volatile. I would let tiny bad things like a rejection on a sales call or a masterclass not filling up or piece of content not landing make me second guess the entire business model and want to restructure it because I thought there had to be a better way. Essentially, I was running away from pain. I was creating problems that didn't exist because I simply didn't believe that business could be as simple as it was, and you just get better at doing what you're doing, and eventually the tiny problems just go away. And you graduate to more money, more problems, you solve those problems, you get better at those problems, and you continue to go higher and higher and you scale more. And this mindset was directly impacting my ability to convey my value and create long-lasting client relationships. And it's not just me. I see this pattern in so many coaches that I work with. Just last week, one of my clients who's making about $20K a month in her coaching business DM'd me saying that she would like to move from a masterclass nurture model to a one-on-one call nurture model at a lower price point. Now, obviously, from a logical lens, this makes no sense. A masterclass is one-to-many. You get lots of people in a room, you nurture them, some of them people ascend and buy from you. A one-to-one call at a lower price point makes zero sense because yes, you will convert more people, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of time. So you're trading time for money and probably in a negative deficit. And so I asked her, I said, you realize that this is going to take you more time. And how's that going to impact your family responsibilities, your client relationships, and all the other things you need to manage in your life? And she said, yes, but I'll close more people. And I said, of course it'll close more people because it's one-on-one. But is it efficient? Is it making sense in a larger scale? How many one-on-one calls can you possibly do with people at $100 so that they ascend into your 5-figure program? Especially with all the responsibilities you have. It'll completely disrupt your time and energy management. And obviously this led to a deeper conversation, and I finally got the reason from her, which was the pressure of filling seats in a masterclass was getting to be too much for her. That's not a logical reason. It's an energetic reason. And I'll tell you why. I wasn't putting pressure on her. Her masterclasses were converting well, just not as well as she wanted them to. But she was putting pressure on herself to perform at a level to fill a certain number of seats, whatever number of seats she had in mind in her masterclass, and to then close a certain number of people that she wanted to. And because she was unable to fill the seats and unable to close the people that she needed to, she was switching her model. The energetic cost was too high for her. And so she decided, and look, this is how emotion messes with your brain. So she had decided, instead of doing the easier thing, which is to optimize and get better at filling seats in masterclasses, and to get better at sales, she decided to scrap the whole model and go to one-on-one calls. And so she wanted to move towards a brand new, far less efficient, far less profitable model that would take a lot more time, just because the energetic cost of running the masterclass model was too much to pay for her. This isn't a strategy problem. It's a self-sabotage mechanism that we have where we get either bored of things, we get tired of things, we don't like the tiny things that annoy or disappoint us, and we decide to shake things up, upholster whatever we've got going on, and start with a brand new thing because it gives us that temporary high of feeling good. This was me going to every new coach, and my trademark line, the one that I'd give them, was, I've tried a lot of things and everything works, but nothing works really well. And every coach that I went to would say, all right, Jai, can you define what extremely well looks like? And I'd say, yeah, it works like this. They'd be like, well, you're making a lot more money than a lot of other people. What makes you think it's not well? That was their way of telling me, you're in a hurry, you're in a rush, you're looking for the shiny object because you can't stand or you don't like the boredom, the reliability, the sustainability of a show up every day, do the thing that needs to be done, go to bed every night, rinse and repeat, sign on clients like clockwork. And this is the exact same problem my client was having last week. It was boredom. She was saying yes to a lot of other things that she shouldn't have said yes to. It was partially shiny object syndrome. It was partially her running away from the pain of getting good at closing people or from the rejection of not having enough people show up in masterclasses. And instead of staring that problem in the face and figuring out that problem, because it's an easier problem to figure out. The hardest problem is figuring out where to get people. The second hardest is what sort of content to give them. The third hardest is what sort of content to convert them. The fourth hardest, meaning 4 times as easy, is how to retain them and how to service them. And people keep jumping back to problem number 1. I see so many people consumed with lead generation method, and they keep trying a new method which requires them to learn things from scratch and scrap other things that were going on for them instead of just getting better at the same model. The exact same problem or loop that I found myself in. So here's what I realized when I told my client. We were both creating imaginary standards and requirements. And because those imaginary standards and requirements weren't being met, we were unhappy. The solution wasn't a new business model. The solution wasn't a new funnel. The solution wasn't a new strategy or lead magnet. It was to reprogram the subconscious belief that success must be complicated to be attained. If something doesn't work perfectly the first time around, the entire process is broken. If there's temporary discomfort in the process, that means the process is flawed. And once I internalized the belief that making money doesn't need to be overly complicated, everything changed for me. The first thing I did was I stopped looking at my business through a tactical shiny object lens. Instead, I started looking at it from a framework lens because I was able to zoom out. And so my lens now is, how do you find people? How do you expose those people to high quality content? How do you convert those people through content, get them to buy something of yours? How do you ascend those people to a higher tiered program? How do you deliver to those people beyond their expectations? And then how do you retain long-term client relationships? Everything else is just details and drama that prevents us from managing our time and our energy efficiently. And this mindset shift was incredible. It allowed me to leverage and create systems where my clients and I just need to work 2 to 4 hours a day to hit the money milestones that we have, giving us back precious time while actually improving our results and our clients' results. Because when I stopped constantly questioning my approach, I was actually able to make my approach a lot better and refine it and tweak it and fine-tune it and excel at it. Because it's always the expertise that separates the winners from the losers, the beginners from the advanced people. They all make content. They all do the same things. It's just that the people who are at a higher level and have scaled beyond 50, 100K months, they've developed that expertise to a level that a beginner simply doesn't have the patience for, or keeps creating drama around and never gets to that. Now, if you're still watching, I want you to ask yourself, honestly, are you sabotaging your success in the exact same way? Are you constantly in search for the thing that's going to make you rich? Are you making money but you're not happy with how much you're making? Are you turning $1 into $2? But you're telling yourself a bad feeling about the way you're turning $1 into $2, and you're constantly looking for how to turn $1 into $3? And then is that stopping you from developing your expertise in turning $1 into $2 so that it lets you turn $1 into $3? And so let me summarize what I've learned from this journey of $474.3 thousand that I made for you. If you know how to turn $1 into $2, keep mastering that until it lets you turn $1 into $3. The drama that you create around your work is often more painful than the work itself and negatively impacts your time and energy. Temporary feelings of pain or setbacks do not mean your process is flawed. It just means you need to get better at implementing it. Success is simple. Find perfect prospects, give them amazing content, convert them to clients, maintain the relationship. Your subconscious beliefs about success are far more important than the strategy or the tactic or the lead magnet or the platform you will ever use. And so as a fun exercise, here's what I want you to do. Identify an area in your coaching business that you're not quite happy with and you're thinking of changing, and decide to double down and commit to it for 90 days. And see how that goes for you. Don't look for something new. Don't look for a fancy object. Don't look for a shiny object. Just for 90 days, just get better and better and better at executing that particular thing. Because the number of paths to scaling are 1,000,001. There are so many ways you can scale. But they don't really require learning something or using something new. Instead, they require unlearning something old that's stuck in your subconscious, and that version of you needs to change the way they think. And so your coaching business doesn't need to be overly complicated to be profitable. The most successful 7 and 8 figure coaches, consultants, and course creators that I know have a very simple process. They've just mastered it to a level that their competition simply has not. And they deliver exceptional results, and they continue. And they use that system to consistently deliver outstanding results for their clients. I hope this helps you. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.